Are you waking up feeling older than your age, with stiff joints, brain fog, or just an overwhelming sense of fatigue? Does your morning begin with a struggle instead of energy? You might chalk it up to aging, but what if 84% of seniors suffer from these symptoms, not because of age itself, but because of how they start their day? This video explores 5 simple but science-backed morning habits, practiced by many independent seniors over 80, including a 95-year-old named Walter Jennings, whose doctor recently said his biological age appears over 30 years younger than his actual age. Walter lives alone, takes no medication, and attributes his vitality to habits anyone can adopt. These aren't extraordinary interventions. They are elderly wisdom in action, small, consistent actions that bring big returns. If you're searching for authentic life lessons from the elderly, proven strategies for senior health, or real motivation from people who've lived it, you're in the right place. Before we dive into the first 2 habits, do one thing. If you find value in these kinds of elderly reflections, insights, and daily routines that boost health and independence, hit the like button and subscribe. Let us know in the comments which habit you'll try first. Many seniors begin their day with a steaming cup of coffee, not realizing that their bodies are already in a state of dehydration from the night's sleep. During sleep, the body loses nearly a liter of water through respiration and perspiration. Yet instead of replenishing this crucial fluid loss, we often compound it with diuretics. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine, even mild dehydration in adults over 65 results in a 27% decrease in brain function and a 31% increase in inflammatory markers. This isn't simply a matter of drinking more water. It's about the timing and method. Walter Jennings, now 95, credits a simple hydration ritual for setting the tone of his day and maintaining his independence. A 16-oz glass of room temperature water, mixed with a pinch of natural salt. Consumed immediately upon waking, room temperature water is absorbed faster, while the natural salt supports osmotic balance, helping your cells uptake the water more effectively. For those who dislike the taste, a few drops of lemon juice can be added, but sweetness, even artificial ones, should be avoided, as they may trigger insulin responses that interfere with morning metabolic activity. Hydration upon waking influences nearly every biological system. It thins the synovial fluid around joints, reducing stiffness and friction during movement. It also improves circulation, allowing oxygen to flow more freely to the brain and muscles. Eleanor, 83, suffered from chronic morning headaches and lightheadedness for years, attributing them to aging, but after adopting this simple hydration ritual, her symptoms vanished in under a week. Other seniors report similar transformations: enhanced digestion, better energy levels, and even improved skin tone within weeks. Long-term, proper hydration supports kidney function, stabilizes blood pressure, and even improves nutrient delivery throughout the body. Seniors who maintain a morning hydration habit also report fewer instances of constipation and urinary tract infections, 2 very common and disruptive issues in late adulthood. This habit, though deceptively simple, is one of the most overlooked keys to preserving senior health and delaying age decline. It's a clear example of how life lessons from the elderly can guide our routines toward better health, vitality, and independence. Medical research continues to support these observations. Geriatricians increasingly identify morning hydration status as a predictive factor for energy levels, mobility outcomes, and mental clarity. Imagine starting every day with your body primed for function, fluid, oxygen, and nutrients ready to flow without obstruction. That's the power of a consistent morning ritual. Seniors who do this are not just avoiding problems, they're proactively building resilience against the silent toll of aging. And it starts with water. Not multivitamins, not supplements, not gadgets or gimmicks. Just clean, room temperature water with a touch of salt, taken with intention before anything else touches your lips. Habit 2 is circadian-aligned sunlight exposure. Nature's most powerful clock reset. Light is not just illumination, it's biological instruction. Each morning, your eyes and skin respond to the unique wavelengths of early sunlight, sending a cascade of signals that reset your internal clock or circadian rhythm. Without this daily reset, seniors often find themselves out of sync, struggling with insomnia, low mood, poor digestion, and irregular hormone function. A University of Colorado study revealed that missing morning sunlight exposure increases the risk of depression by 69% among older adults. Stanford's Center for Sleep Sciences found that 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight in the early morning boosts serotonin levels by 42%. Aligning your body's systems for optimal function throughout the day, Walter's peer Robert, age 79, once relied on sleep aids to get rest. After adjusting his morning walk to fall within the first 30 minutes of waking, he noticed a dramatic shift: deeper sleep, elevated mood, and improved clarity during the day. It turns out timing matters as much as exposure. The light must be received through the eyes, not filtered through glass, contacts, or sunglasses. That's because specialized retinal cells, called melanopsin receptors, need to register the full spectrum of morning light in order to signal the hypothalamus, your body's master regulator. Even cloudy days provide sufficient light for this effect, though sitting by a window offers only about 50% of the benefit of direct exposure for seniors. In regions with prolonged winters or minimal daylight, medical-grade light therapy lamps designed for circadian realignment can be an effective alternative. This habit costs nothing, takes less than 15 minutes, and yet influences over 150 physiological processes, including digestion, immune response, blood pressure, and muscle retention. Some seniors go a step further by combining this practice with grounding, standing or walking barefoot on grass, which has been associated with reduced inflammation and better sleep. Proper morning light exposure resets the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone, ensuring better quality rest at night. It also regulates cortisol levels, helping reduce stress and inflammation. For aging adults, that means fewer aches, more energy, and steadier moods. Multiple studies have linked disrupted circadian rhythms with higher risk of Alzheimer's, cardiovascular diseases, and even certain cancers. The morning sun is free medicine, and like any good medicine, its effects build over time. Just a short, regular walk or sit by your garden can reprogram your biology, realign your day, and elevate your aging process from one of decline to one of resilience. Morning light is not optional, it's essential. And when paired with strategic hydration, it forms a cornerstone of biological renewal that any senior can harness. Now, let's move directly into the next two essential habits, starting with a 4-minute mental routine proven to preserve brain function, followed by a gentle mobility sequence designed to reverse joint decline. These practices are part of the daily lives of thriving seniors like Walter, and they can be part of yours too. Starting today, the 4-minute cognitive priming routine that rewires the aging brain is habit 3. While the body sleeps, the brain resets. But what happens in the first few minutes after waking determines whether that reset becomes an upgrade or a missed opportunity. This is the golden window for what neurologists call neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to grow, adapt, and build new connections. As we age, this plasticity naturally declines, but not if we actively stimulate it. According to researchers at Harvard Medical School, cognitive exercises done within the first 20 minutes of waking can boost neuroplasticity by as much as 37%. The morning brain is uniquely sensitive because of elevated levels of BDNF, brain-dry neurotrophic factor, often referred to as miracle grow for neurons. BDNF peaks shortly after waking and declines rapidly if left unstimulated. That's why this specific 4-minute morning practice, used by many seniors including Walter Jennings, is so effective. It's called the 444 Morning Challenge. Solve one math problem, recall one vivid memory, learn 4 new vocabulary words, and visualize your day ahead, all within 4 minutes. This may sound simple, but each task engages different parts of the brain: logic, memory, language, and executive planning. Margaret, 87, used this method daily while recovering from hip surgery. Though she was bedridden for weeks, her doctors were astonished at how sharp and communicative she remained. It's no coincidence while physical therapy was paused, her brain training was not, and it made all the difference. Neuroscientists have found that seniors who perform structured cognitive routines like this in the morning experience not only better word recall and attention span, but also increased confidence in handling daily tasks. More importantly, these habits help build cognitive reserve, the brain's buffer against decline. Skipping this opportunity compounds risk. The National Institute on Aging found that seniors who neglect mental engagement in the morning are 29% more likely to show early signs of dementia over a 5-year period. And it starts subtly, forgetting names, appointments, words, but the root is often the same: neural pathways that aren't being used, strengthened, or refreshed. This isn't about brain games or complicated exercises. It's about ritual and routine. Preparing your materials the night before, whether a page from a brain teaser book, a memory journal, or even a note with new words, makes implementation effortless. Over time, the cumulative effects are profound. Improved focus, resilience to stress, better verbal fluency, and an empowered sense of mental independence. This is elderly wisdom rooted in action, not wishing the mind would stay sharp, but choosing to sharpen it each day. Cognitive decline isn't a sudden event. It's a slow erosion of unexercised capabilities. Think of your mind like a garden. If you wake up and water it, give it sunlight and tend it with care, it flourishes. But if you neglect it, weeds grow and fruitful areas begin to fade. The 4-4-4 routine is the daily tending. It's the signal to your brain that it still has a purpose, still has challenges to overcome, still has memories to recall and plans to make. And when done consistently, it builds a sense of identity and control that is essential for healthy aging. Walter says the math doesn't need to be hard, just enough to stimulate reasoning. His favorite, quick puzzles from a calendar book by his bedside. For memory, he often recalls a meal from a specific age. Where was I at 32, he asks, eyes lighting up. Oh right, that dinner in Denver with my brother. These moments, fleeting as they are, strengthen neural pathways and preserve emotional resilience. Vocabulary, he picks up new words from books or articles, often ones that sound poetic. Visualization, meanwhile, connects the dots. I picture the errands, the phone call to my niece, and even watering the garden. That simple exercise helps him approach his day with more clarity and structure. This isn't just about preventing disease, it's about presence. The ability to participate fully in life, in conversations, in memories, and in planning the future. A well-primed brain means fewer moments of confusion, more meaningful interactions, and a higher quality of life. In this way, habit 3 is less about performance and more about participation. It's about staying in the game. That's the kind of mental strength that extends beyond crossword puzzles and apps. It touches every part of our daily being. The inside-out mobility sequence, MOA, movement that respects the aging body, is the next habit. Aging doesn't mean immobility, but moving incorrectly does. Many seniors still perform outdated stretching routines designed for younger bodies. These movements, deep toe touches, fast neck rolls, seated twists, can cause more harm than good, leading to joint damage, reduced blood flow, and even micro-tears in aging connective tissue. The Mayo Clinic found that improper stretching increases inflammation by 31%, while a targeted mobility sequence reduced pain and stiffness by 44% in just 2 weeks. Walter, now 95, learned this the hard way. In his 70s, he followed the same morning exercises he'd done since his 40s. By 80, he needed a cane. But after consulting with a physiotherapist and transitioning to this gentle inside-out mobility method, he regained confidence and left the cane behind. This 7-minute routine is built on 3 principles: warmth before depth, blood flow before stretch, and support before range. It starts seated, with shoulder rotations to awaken circulation in the upper body, followed by seated marching to stimulate the core and hips. Then doorway chest expansions, open posture, often hunched by age, supported squats, holding a chair or counter, engage the largest muscles safely, followed by ankle circles to enhance balance and circulation in the lower extremities. Each movement is designed to build without strain. No forcing, no bouncing, just gentle activation. The entire sequence acts like a slow switch on for the body. It elevates core temperature, improves joint lubrication, and stimulates neuromuscular coordination. An essential trio for fall prevention and daily movement confidence. Thomas, 86, once relied on a walker, but within 1 month of adopting this method, he began walking unassisted in his home and eventually outdoors. His biggest gain wasn't strength, it was confidence. Mobility is freedom, but it must be preserved through respect, not risk. Seniors who follow this daily report fewer falls, easier transitions like getting up from chairs, and greater ability to perform tasks like reaching overhead or climbing stairs. Gait improves, balance stabilizes, even digestion benefits thanks to movement-stimulated peritulsis. This habit supports senior health by activating muscles, protecting joints, and increasing metabolic activity, all without risking injury. For those who've long believed exercise is dangerous after 70, this is your re-entry point. And for those still active, it's a reset, a smarter, safer foundation. This habit does more than protect. It empowers. The routine becomes a meditation in motion, a daily affirmation that your body, no matter its age, still works, still adapts, and still carries you forward. For many seniors, the psychological effect is just as valuable as the physical one. The sense of accomplishment, routine, and control sets a mental tone that positively affects the rest of the day. It's a ritual of renewal, and it tells your nervous system you're alive, you're moving, you're safe. Add music if you like, do it in the sun, share it with a friend or caregiver. What matters is the commitment. 7 minutes may seem trivial, but it accumulates. After 30 days, you may feel more mobile, more stable, and surprisingly more energized. That is not coincidence. That's physiology working in your favor. Chapter 3 is up next. Don't go anywhere, because the final habit we're about to explore could very well be the most important one of all. This is where morning nutrition meets longevity science. How a single dietary shift can help you preserve muscle, fuel energy, and stay strong well into your 90s and beyond. Let's move directly into it. Most people assume that eating more protein is enough to protect their muscles as they age. But what if the real secret isn't how much protein you eat, but when you eat it? Research from the Human Nutrition Center on Aging at Tufts University has shown that for adults over 60, the body becomes less responsive to protein unless it is timed properly. Specifically, within 30 minutes of morning activity. This phenomenon is known as anabolic resistance, and it makes building or maintaining muscles significantly harder with age. Yet timing protein intake strategically can reverse this issue, and Walter Jennings, 95, is a perfect example. For the past decade, Walter has followed a breakfast ritual that includes a minimum of 30 grams of high-quality protein within half an hour of completing his morning mobility routine. The result, his muscle strength and stability have improved, not declined, even in his late 80s and 90s. Here's why it matters. After morning movement, the muscles are primed to absorb amino acids efficiently. Blood flow is elevated, cellular uptake is activated, and the so-called anabolic window is open. But if you skip this window, or break your fast with only carbs like toast, juice, or fruit, you blunt the muscle-building signal your body desperately needs. First, high glycemic carbs can trigger insulin spikes that interfere with fat metabolism and amplify inflammation, making you feel more sluggish, foggy, and even hungrier later in the day. So what should a senior eat for breakfast? The ideal plate includes at least 25-30 grams of complete protein from sources like eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, whey or plant-based protein powders, and collagen peptide. Collagen is especially helpful for joint health and skin elasticity, while whey protein delivers all essential amino acids needed for muscle repair. Walter's go-to option? A smoothie made with Greek yogurt, a scoop of whey protein, a scoop of collagen, and unsweetened almond milk. On weekends, he enjoys scrambled eggs with avocado and a side of sautéed spinach. Simple, nourishing, effective. Barbara, a 91-year-old retired teacher, saw her grip strength improve after switching from a fruit and tan breakfast to one centered on protein. Within weeks, she reported having more energy throughout the morning, fewer blood sugar crashes, and less fatigue climbing stairs. This change not only improved her vitality, but restored her sense of independence. No more relying on family for routine errands. It's not magic, it's muscle metabolism science. A meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consume their highest protein meal at breakfast experienced 30% better muscle retention than those who had the same amount distributed throughout the day. Morning protein sets the tone, not just for the rest of your body's cellular repair processes. Remember, muscle loss isn't just a cosmetic issue. It affects balance, coordination, metabolism, and even brain health. Your muscles are your metabolic engines. When they decline, so does your entire system. The good news? This habit is easy to implement. Prepare the ingredients the night before. Have a few staple recipes on rotation. Mix it up to keep it interesting. Just remember the golden rule. Protein first, carbs second. Let protein be your foundation, and everything else will fall into place. Avoid sugary granola, processed cereals, and white breads. These undermine your goals instead. Choose nutrient-dense additions like flax seeds, chia seeds, unsweetened nut butters, and leafy greens. And yes, you can still enjoy a slice of whole grain toast or a few berries, but only after your protein base is established. By respecting this sequence, you keep insulin in check, maintain muscle integrity, and support steady energy through midday. The best part? This habit doesn't just preserve your body, it empowers your choices. Seniors who prioritize protein in the morning report feeling more productive, alert, and emotionally balanced. They're more likely to complete physical therapy exercises, walk farther, and participate in social events. All key indicators of healthy aging. When your body is well fed at the cellular level, your confidence follows. You move differently. You feel more in control. You are more alive. Walter likes to say, your first meal is a message to your body. If it's protein, the message is stay strong. And science agrees this isn't a fad or trend. It's a cornerstone of senior health, deeply aligned with our natural rhythms and supported by decades of clinical research. So tomorrow morning, before the coffee and before the news, ask yourself, what message are you sending to your body today? Start strong, stay strong, and keep thriving. Before you go, we'd love to hear from you. Where in the world are you watching from? Share your city or country in the comments below. We want to know how far this community of wisdom and inspiration reaches. If you found this guide helpful, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. The wisdom of age deserves to be heard and passed on. Every view, every comment, and every share helps us bring these empowering messages to more seniors around the world.